Welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, the live TV show all about the legal aspects of your business to help educate you on complex legal terms in an easy to understand manner, to help understand why you need to do certain things in your business from a legal point of view, and to help you develop a plan for the future. Our mission at Business Legal Lifecycle is to help empower all small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV. Today is Wednesday, so it's one of our education shows, and we're going through phase 6, which is about maximising your business and bringing in investors. I am Craig Mason, and I have with me, as always, Jeremy. Say hello to all of our listeners and viewers today, please, Jeremy.
Hi everyone, hope you're having a great 2019. It's only 9 days in, but hopefully it's going well for you.
Hopefully having a great year and make this the best year ever. And we're here to help you in your business if you're starting out, or an existing business, or you're a consultant to a business. The information that we share with our listeners and viewers will help with those sorts of things. So, as I said, we're talking about phase 6 today for the month of January 2019. That's about maximising your business and bringing in investors. So, Jeremy, do you want to start with, I presume you're going to bring up the slide of the business legal life cycle with the phase 6 and explain a little bit more about how that fits in and what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, sure. And I'll talk about maximising your business, and then you can finish off with bringing in investors. So, as Craig said, I'll bring up a slide for anyone who's watching the video of the Business Legal Lifecycle. If you're not, check out our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Business Legal Lifecycle, and you'll get our videos if you're interested, or go to our website, businesslegallifecycle.com.au, and you'll see a copy of the Business Legal Lifecycle. Phase 6 it's an interesting phase that we include in the Business Legal Lifecycle, and it comes at the end of the consolidation phases. And the reason for that is that really, one of the things that really strove and drove Craig and I to develop the Business Legal Lifecycle was to map out when successful businesses did certain things in their business, and really to drive the concept of building a business for sale, because at the end of the day, at some point you're going to have to exit your business, and if you're going to exit your business and you want to be rewarded for all your hard work, then you've usually got to sell the business or pass it on to someone else. But there's many ways to do that, but you want to be able to have everything in place. And what we found is that a lot of the businesses that didn't set up for sale properly actually just jumped into expansion before they actually consolidated their business. So that's why the phases 4 through 6, as you'll see on the screen, are all about the consolidation of the business, starting on with bringing on employees, protecting your IP, and then this phase, which is maximizing your business and bringing in investors. And so really this is making sure, doing a review and making sure that everything is right in your business, and making sure that business is reaching peak efficiency, and then thinking about, well, what do you need to do to have your business ready to expand? So ready to go into phase 7. And let's face it, it's all very exciting. Phase 7, we've been there. It's all exciting to get in there and expand, but you've got to make sure that you actually have all the chocks in place properly beforehand. So that's why phase 6 is where it is. The actual purpose of it is really about getting that business ready. And there are different, marks in your business, there can be different employees, different revenue levels that mean that you have to do things differently. But this is really about just getting all of those things right for your business before you go into the expansion phases. So let's talk about maximizing your business, because this is an interesting concept. And you really need to think about what maximizing means to you. So there's many ways to be right. It depends on the business that you're in, the way that you operate your business, and your team. Now lawyers, often have a negative reputation for doing this because they maximize their team working, ridiculous hours and never getting anywhere and burning people out. If that's the kind of business you want to run, fine. But if it's not, and you want to give your team a good work-life balance, then you need to think about, well, what is actually maximizing? It's not necessarily them working 100% of the time in the business, doing everything all day, every day. It's about having your systems and processes in place that will actually, allow you to expand, because if you expand without those systems and processes in place, then your problems will multiply and you'll have lots of different problems with your business. So the first factor that I talked about was the type of business that you're in. So depending on the type of business that you're in and its purpose, they'll have a really large impact on what maximizing means to you. So if you're operating a factory and you have space and capacity to bring on more employees, then maximizing your business may look very different to a professional services firm like a law firm, where you might just want to work for a few high-paying clients. So the type of business really has that great influence on what it actually means to maximize your business. So stop now and jump into our workbook. This is show 165. So if you go to businesslegallifecycle.com.au/165 and jump into the workbook and have a think about what type of business you're in and what maximizing your business actually means to you, because that's really important. Set some goals for what that means. Now, in the previous phases, phase one, and really in any phase and every year, we talk about setting goals for your business. Have a think about what those goals are for you now and what that actually means for your type of business that you're in. There's many ways to be right, and then go and talk to someone. Talk to your advisors. Talk to us. Post it on our Facebook page. Post it on our YouTube channel. Tweet us or email us and tell us what it's about, so we can help you to set really clear goals. The next thing, and the second factor, is the way that you operate your business. So here you've got to think about the time that you spend working on your business as opposed to working in your business. So are you an operator of your business? Are you the person who goes in there and does the work, or do you work on your business primarily, and actually you the entrepreneur that makes sure that the business is running smoothly? There's a great saying by our business mentor David Dugan, he says that you've got to at least work 4 hours on your business every week at a bare minimum. As you expand and you build your business into a bigger machine, you need to think about, that time probably has to expand. So how do you actually operate your business? If you're and Craig and I have fallen into this trap before, if you're a person who's really good at your work, really good technician, is it right that if you're going to expand and after you maximize your business, that you do that without someone being the manager and the entrepreneur for your business? That's a really important point, because you might feel that you can just keep on expanding, but when you start getting a team and a bigger business, you need to have someone who actually manages the business. And whether that be you or whether that be someone that you bring in, you need to start thinking about those things. So the way you operate your business is really important. Again, refer to the workbook and have a think about how do you operate your business, and feel free to share this information with us. We're happy to give you advice and help you through it, because this is something that's really important and really needs to be fixed with a lot of business owners. And that leads into the third point that I raised, which is your team or your staff or your employees. This in the consolidation phases, we talk a lot about bringing on employees. That's phase 4. Really, this is at this stage you're thinking about, what type of employees are crucial for your business going forward. What employees do you need to maximize your business? So you need to think about what are the bottlenecks that you need to do, and this is something that you should sit down with your team, your current team, and think about. What aren't we getting done? What needs to be done, and how can we employ someone to fix those gaps? So again, look at the workbook. Use the workbook to try and think about these things, and work with your team, because that's what maximizing your business is all about. The lessons that we've learned and the lessons that are in many business books, they're there for a reason. So you need to do those those steps to think about, what is maximizing your business mean for you? The second and the last part that I'm going to talk about is actually how to maximize your business. So I've talked about a few things, and hopefully you've done the exercise, or if you haven't, you're going to go back and do them in the workbook. We do these things because we really want to help you to actually do it. And really, the next thing to think about is, what is maximizing your business? How do you do it? So there's a couple of different ways to think about it. The first one is maximizing your revenue. So all businesses and investors in business want to maximize their revenue. That's the purpose of being in business. The purpose of being in business is to make money, and to make money at a fair price and to help people. So you need to think about what that actually means for you. As a sole operator, there's a certain ceiling of your time that you can spend, even if you're billing fixed fees, or you've got set products that you charge. There's a maximum amount of time that you can spend in your business because you need to spend some time on your business, and you want to be able to do that to actually maximize your business. That will change when you have a team, and so no longer is it a good idea to work employees to the bone. As I said before, there's unfortunately the legal industry. There's a few contemporaneous cases going on at the moment with some big law firms who are overworking some staff, and they've been taken to court. That's endemic of our industry, unfortunately, and of many other industries. But no longer is it an idea to work them to the bone. You want to think about how you can efficiently maximize their revenue, and that will maximize your profits. So you need to think about what that actually is and what that actually looks like. One way to do that is the 80-20 principle. So this is quite a famous principle, that's been talked about in many different contexts. However, what basically in this context that we're talking about is that 80% of your money comes from 20% of your clients. If you sit down and do your numbers, look at your revenue figures, that comes through in almost every business that we've ever looked at. And if you read any of the books about this, one of the best ones I think is Perry Marshall's The 80-20 Sales and Marketing, the definitive guide to working less and making more. He talks about studies where, and clients that he's worked with where, the top 20% of their clients are making 80% of the revenue. So is it time to cull some clients or customers? Is it time to go through your list and make A, B, and C clients, or even D clients, cull the C clients, and focus on your A clients and potentially making B clients your A clients? If you're getting 80% of your revenue from 20% of your clients, well, focus on those clients. And then once you do that, then you'll be in a position where you're ready to expand. So really, that's what I wanted to talk about maximizing your business. And I'll hand over to Craig talking about bringing in investors.
Cool. Thanks, Jeremy. So there should be a slide up there about bringing in investors. So before you look at bringing in an investor, you obviously need to seriously consider whether or not it is right for your business. It's a big step. You're bringing in someone else essentially that's going to have some money with them, obviously, or some skills or some other thing they bring to the table. So you want to make sure that they're going to be right for you. And before you even think about the actual person and start talking to people, you need to seriously consider whether the prospect of even having anyone involved is right for your business. So when we're talking about it in this phase, it's not a startup business. This is an existing business that's looking to bring in an investor to expand or to do something in their business. So it's a bit different to a startup investor. They're looking at different things when you're bringing in an investor at this stage. It can be a rewarding process to bring in an investor, but also it brings another group of challenges into your business. So it's not, as I said, it's not right for everyone. There's many ways to be right. A lot of businesses are built on the owners investing their own money or reinvesting profits or whatever from that business back into the business. So that's an option as well. But what we're talking about is bringing in essentially a third party to invest in the business. So as always, this is not the time to make it up and not seek the advice of your consultant. So we're pretty big, and we've mentioned it, I don't know how many times, but a lot, that you need a team of consultants in your business. I'm talking about lawyers, accountants, financial planners, insurance brokers, all those sorts of people involved in your business. So you've got essentially a board of directors, if you want to call that, that can help you out in these sorts of things. And this is one where you definitely need to seek the right advice about bringing in an investor. And if you do go down that path, it's imperative that there's documents to support all of this, because the last thing you want is an investor in there on a handshake, and all sorts of problems may arise in the future. So definitely suggest you do not do that and seek the right advice. And the accountant is also very important as well in this sense about bringing in into your business. So that's essentially that. So if we just move on to what is an actual investor. So as I said, we're not talking about a startup investor here. We've spoken about that in previous shows, but this is where you've got an existing business, you've moved through the business legal life cycle, and you're obviously at phase 6, as we said at the beginning. So you've done a number of things, you've got the chocks in place, and now you're either maximising your business or expanding or going through the investing type stage. So there's a number of different types of investors. You've got your venture capitalist investor. So that's the person that has other people's funds who want to invest in your business. So they're obviously going to want to see what you've done in the business. There's got a proven track record, or if there's some scope to increase profits or sales through a new product or a new area or something like that. They're going to look into the business to make sure that it's got a proven track record, or there's some reason to invest in it, because they're investing with other people's money. So they're looking at risk pretty highly to make sure that it's not going to fail, and then they're going to lose other people's money. So they're going to look at it a lot more due diligence, I would say, than a lot of other types of investors. Then you've got your angel investors. So you're less likely to see those sorts of investors in this stage of your business rather than the startup phase. So they're, angel investors are usually, wanting to help a startup business with, the early cash issues that a startup business normally has about setting things up and those sorts of things, and that's where an angel investor will come in. They may be relevant for this stage of your business as well. And I guess it's, as I said, there's many ways to be right. There could be an angel investor out there. You don't just discount it just if one approaches you. You've also got the crowdsourcing option. So this is something that's becoming more and more popular, where all the money gets pulled together as a crowd, and they invest in the business. It's not something that's probably used that much in Australia at this stage. And it's normally used for other types of things outside of a business arrangement, but it's definitely something that we see as something that will start coming up more and more often in the crowdsourcing space when it comes to investing in an actual business. The next one, obviously, you've just got other business owners and those sorts of things. One of the main investors that you'll see in a business is family and friends. So obviously, this brings another level of risk to the table when you're talking about family and friends. Again, if something was to happen, then you've got to make sure that you've got a document to fall back on that everyone agreed to at the beginning, to make the process easy. If it is going to be the end of the investor relationship, then you want to have the documents in place that allows that process to happen easily. So you don't want, as I said before, as much as it's easy to have a handshake over a turkey on Christmas Day, sometimes that'll be fine, but we've seen a number of times where the handshake loan investor type relationship falls down for whatever reason, and that can become a major issue when you're trying to imply terms into an agreement that doesn't really support that. So you definitely want to document all this, exactly what's the investment for, what are the timelines, all those sorts of things, what information they're going to be provided, all those sorts of things need to be in the document, so you don't come unstuck in the future. This is particularly relevant when you're talking about family and friends, because you are potentially going to see them on a regular basis, and you don't want there to be any issues, which brings another level of awkwardness. We've obviously just got through Christmas. You can imagine if you'd had a disgruntled investor sitting there with you. So I don't think it'd be a fun time. So definitely want to look at that closely. It seems an easy option, I think, Jeremy, to bring in a family or a friend for an investor, but unfortunately we see it time and time again where it's got some issues. So
yeah, and I think the important thing there is, if you are going to do it, treat it like a normal investment. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't try and just do a handshake. Make sure that you get a proper agreement in place, because that will properly define the terms. So yeah,
absolutely. All right, so they're the sorts of investors that are floating around the place, and you have to do your research into what's the best one for you. And it might be that you need more than one, or whatever it is. You can get them from different places, but if you're looking at it, they're the sorts of things you need to look at. So how can you actually use an investor in your business? I've kind of touched on that throughout today's show about why you might use invested funds. So an obvious one is they're investing cash into the business. You might be looking at expanding, developing a new product, things like that. The other advantage, or one of the reasons to have an investor and how they can be used, is they can become, that person can become a trusted advisor. They might have a unique skill set that you don't have in your business that they can come in and utilise, and that could bring a whole new area of your business. They might have expertise in a particular product or service that you can now start offering, those sorts of things. So that's one of the ways you can use it. I'd say that's probably the secondary reason that most people look at investors, but sometimes that would actually be, it turns out to be the primary reason why you should have bought the person in the first place, not just the cash, is that they become that trusted advisor, another board member, etc., and someone that you can talk to. If you're a one-man band, I guess, with employees, and you bring in an investor, you've got that other person now that you can need to talk to, and those sorts of things. And again, it's important to sort of put all this in the agreement when you're, or at least discuss it before you bring on the investor, about the level of their involvement before their investment is made. So you don't want them thinking they're coming in and basically running the show, if that's not to be the case. So you want to make sure you document all of that, so everyone is on the same page when you're bringing on the investor, because as we've said, it can be an exciting stage in your business where you bring in this new person with their money and their skills, and it could move your business over into the next phase and continue on your merry way to hopefully have a successful business that's in a position that could be sold when you want to take that step. So important to look at it. There are a number of ways you can use it. Depends on the type of business. The main sort of ones are their skill sets and obviously the cash that they bring in. Now, in terms of the advantages of investors, so I've touched on that. So that's the injection of funds. Obviously, that's an advantage. They're going to bring in some money somehow, and it's either going into the business or to you or wherever it is. So it's an advantage, obviously. As I've said, unique skills, so their advice and their experience you can utilise, so that's an advantage. And depending on the investor, there may also be an advantage of the prestige of that particular company or person that's investing it. So depending on who it is, some high-profile person investing in this great business could bring a whole new area and sales or clients or whatever it might be into your business with the prestige of that investor, and they will press releases and all these sorts of things, and you're on the Today Show or whatever it might be, the prestige of that investor. So that's definitely an advantage. With anything, of course, there are also disadvantages. There isn't always 100% up on every single thing, so there are some disadvantages of investors. So this is where you need to carefully look at it before you take this step. So there could be a loss of equity in your business. So usually when you bring in an investor, you will also give them some form of equity in the business. So they want something in return, so they'll be getting an equity. And, like I said before, they're having new skills and their advice, etc., etc. That also can mean that you lose some form of control as well, because now they're taking on new roles, they've got other ideas, etc., etc., and you might be losing control of the business. And the same goes with the equity. You've got a less shares, etc., and control over the business. So that's definitely going to be a disadvantage. I think those two are pretty common sense disadvantages. You're getting their funding and their experience, etc. There is going to be a downside on that, in that you're going to lose equity. But you obviously need to look at all those sorts of things. Do your numbers, make sure you undertake a vigorous analysis of the person, the money, your business, those sorts of things, to make sure it's the right decision for you, because yes, there are some disadvantages, unfortunately. Everything is not happy days. So, as I said, something you need to carefully consider, talk to your consultants about it, make sure everyone's on the same page, and document every single part of the agreement when you're bringing in an investor, because whilst it's an exciting time, it's also quite a serious thing to do in your business when you get to it in phase 6. So, Jeremy, I think that's it for the slides for today's episode. So as Jeremy said, this is show 165. There will be the workbook and the notes available on the website, so I encourage everyone to get on there and print it out and go through it. Obviously, as Jeremy said throughout as well, stop throughout it and complete the workbook. We put that together for your use and advantage when you're listening or watching our shows. So please do that. If you've got any questions about it or want anything else added to the show, or a topic that you think we've missed in this phase, please let us know so we can make sure that we look into that and come back to you. We're here to help, and we encourage all of our listeners and viewers to get involved in the show. So, Jeremy, I think that's it.
Yeah, other than to please like our Facebook page, review us on wherever you're getting the content, please. That helps increase our ranking so that other people can get our information. And we'll be back on Monday, Craig, with Fast Fix Monday. So until then, we'll sign off.
See you later.